You're very welcome to the conference, first of all. Would you mind telling us a little about who you are, number one, and of course, a little bit about the Institute, who you are?
Right, yeah, so my name's Ian Newington. I'm Head of Special Projects at the National Institute for Health and Care Research in the UK, which is the UK's, or the English Department of Health and Social Care's brand for doing healthcare research. And we manage quite a lot of the funding, so it's contracted out from the department to manage funding for individual projects and what we call infrastructure, so groups of people working in key parts of the NHS and the academic communities in England, particularly focused on England. The rest of the UK has a devolved administration, as you're probably aware, so they access some of our funding, but mostly it's English focus.
Okay. How do you think it compares, say, to other countries?
So I guess we're the biggest single funder of health and care research in Europe. Obviously smaller than the US. People have likened us a little bit to the NIH in the US. The main difference is we don't have our own facilities. So what we do is we contract out, we run competitions for people to take funding to form big collaborations and groups of people to work on particular areas of technology or unmet healthcare needs that the UK and particularly the NHS are interested in resolving.
And with AI becoming such a huge part now within the medical sphere, has that been difficult to integrate?
So the NHS themselves actually, you may or may not be aware, they had an AI. Well, they still do have an AI lab, which is designed to try and help encourage AI and understand and what needs to be done to make AI work in the healthcare system. And we've been running as the NIHR, working with them a series of competitions, which is now finished. But we've still got projects running. So look at from all stages, from early stage development right through to implementation and hopefully scale up and roll out into the NHS technologies with AI. And I think it's very fair to say, as you say, AI is pretty much everywhere. And if you're developing medical devices, diagnostics, or any kind of digital health, somewhere along the line it's going to have AI involved, machine learning of some sort, because it's going to be collecting data, connecting with other health data and so on. So inevitably, even if people are coming to us for funding for developing a new medical device, somewhere along the line it's connected, it's going to have some data, they'll end up doing some kind of machine learning or something associated with it.
And what brings you to this conference specifically?
Partly because we were invited, clearly, but also because one of the things that we're interested in is helping the UK to access technology outside of from outside of the UK, which might be interesting. So that would be for inward investment. There's somebody here from the Department of International Trade who I'm on a panel with tomorrow, Linda McGee, and that's part of her specific job. But we work quite closely with them in terms of bringing companies awareness of what our needs are in the UK, helping them to come into the UK, to find partners in the UK, perhaps in the healthcare system, that they can work with and do research to satisfy any of the requirements that there may be for evidence and so on, actually based in the UK rather than somewhere else where it may have been done already.
And from a conference point of view, how important do you think they are to people within the sector, within the MedTech sector?
What conferences?
In general, like the MedTech itself?
I mean, I think absolutely. It's a great opportunity. There probably aren't enough. There aren't very many specifically MedTech conferences, so it's actually quite nice to have a focused event. There are relatively few. I think they're growing. There's one or two. There's now at least one new one in the UK that we've had in the last year or so. So I think there's growing. It's an important need. I think the industry just needs to get together and talk. And especially everything is digital somewhere or another now in this space, but especially in the exclusively digital space, because there's quite a lot of people coming into healthcare from other parts of the tech industry who probably need to get these kind of events quite helpful, because they can start to understand some of the other issues that they're going to have to deal with, not just the tech, because actually the tech's usually the easy part.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Have you created synergies with the health system here, with the health ministry, or any of those?
Well, actually, I had a chat this morning with someone from the health ministry, and with an offer to potentially, or a suggestion that we might like to, if we're going to have an international office of some sort,
Okay.
we might put it here because of its strategic location.
Yes, yes.
So we that hopefully will start a conversation at least. We've been very I'd say we've been very UK focused in what we're doing. Needless to say, because the money's coming from UK taxpayers.
Yes, yes.
But I think we are already doing funding for with official development assistance aid, so to lower and middle income countries. So we're starting to think about how this operates on a more international basis and working with other organisations around the world. We've done some things with, I think, some of the American jointly funded type things and conversations working with other people in other parts of the world. So there's an opportunity to do that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck at the conference, and we hope to see you back in Malta again.
I will certainly intend to come back now that I've been for the first time.
Yes, thank you
Hopefully
very
it won't
much.
be raining next time.
Yes, hopefully not.